First, live, local, now on Channel 3 News.
A murder suspect found in the middle of the street.
And he kept saying, "Lord, please forgive me for what I've done."
But it's what was found inside his home that has neighbors worried. And are the Blue Angels worth it?
Everybody wants to be a Navy pilot because of the Blue Angels.
Criticism about the cost of the recruiting tool.
Hi team, good afternoon and welcome to Channel 3 News First at 4, your first source for news at 4. Let's jump into those headlines. Escambia County deputies have arrested a man after a woman's body was found inside his home. 32-year-old Matthew Warren is charged with first-degree murder. Deputies say Warren was in the middle of the street near Hayes and U Streets. When they stopped him, he told them there was a body in his home. Channel 3's Cavante Smalls spoke with neighbors, joins us now live with more in your first top story at 4. Cavante, they had to have been worried.
Worried, indeed worried, but now, they're all breathing a sigh of relief. No man that lives in this home is now in jail.
George Norris was sitting on his porch when he noticed a man acting very strange walking down U Street. That man, believed to be Matthew Warren, then stopped right in front of his house.
He was staring up into the sky, like something that was wrong. And then when he got on his knees right in the middle of the road in front of my house, I could hear him, and he kept saying, "Lord, please forgive me. Lord, please forgive me for what I've done."
Escambia County deputies came to the area minutes after concerned neighbors called the sheriff's office. They found Warren in the street, and after checking out his home, they found a woman dead inside. Warren was then arrested. Investigators are trying to figure out how and why the woman was killed.
And as far as that woman's name, that has not been released yet, and it won't be released until the medical examiner finishes its report and the family has been notified. Reporting live in Escambia County, Cavante Smalls, Channel 3 News.
Thank you, Cavante, again reporting live for you in the field. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel defending the deal that led to the release of Army Sergeant Bo Bergdahl. During a congressional hearing this morning, Hagel told the House Armed Services Committee the administration made the right decision in releasing 5 Taliban detainees in exchange for Bergdahl. Hagel says the deal was struck for the right reasons, to bring home a U.S. service member who had been held captive by the Taliban in Afghanistan for 5 years. He explained that they had to act fast, which was why they didn't follow the normal lines of communication with Congress. Critics of the exchange say the administration put more American lives at risk by releasing the detainees to Qatar, where the government has promised to keep watch over them for at least a year. Hagel also testified that no American combat deaths were linked to the previous searches or the rescue of Sergeant Bergdahl. A prisoner of war from a different era shared his story in Okaloosa County today. The retired general talked to Channel 3's Laura Hussey about how he survived 6 years in a Vietnamese prison.
Here at the Emerald Coast Convention Center, General Ed Meckenbauer spoke at a conference presented by defense contractor BAE Systems.
Meckenbauer was shot down in 1967 and held at the infamous Hanoi Hilton. Everyone there knew the torture they called the rope trick. As their shoulders dislocated and they gasped for breath, prisoners used all their will not to give the North Vietnamese anything they could use. When they were told they were finally going home, Meckenbauer says there were no cheers. They didn't believe it was real.
Even if we believe it, it's scary. Because now all of a sudden you're going to go back and you're going to find out what's wrong with your body. You're going to find out what's happened to life while you were gone.
Of the controversial Bo Bergdahl, Meckenbauer says their stories aren't similar. He likes to think that at some point Bergdahl wanted to leave and wasn't allowed to, making him a prisoner.
If you're interested in more of General Meckenbauer's story, you can find it in a book about his life. It's called Life on a $5 Bet. In Okaloosa County, Laura Hussey, Channel 3 News.
And in your third top story at 4, Milton police investigating an overnight burglary at the Gulf Power office. This was reported by an employee this morning. Police say the thieves broke into an ATM inside the office near Dogwood Drive and Caroline Street. Investigators could not say how much money the thieves got away with, but they could tell us the theft involved more than one person. The office was closed for several hours today as police searched for clues. If you have any information on this case, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers. That number, 477-STOP. How effective are military teams like the Navy's Blue Angels or the Air Force's Thunderbirds at influencing young people to join the military? The White House wants to trim $45 billion from the yearly defense budget, and a newly released article posted on military.com suggests the Blues could be a good place to start. Channel 3's Ricky Van explains people we spoke with say the Blues are worth it.
The article posted on military.com is from the Pittsburgh Tribune Review. It says in 2009, nearly $99 million were spent on the Blue Angels for things like gas, medical services, and housing. We talked to some who say military teams like the Blue Angels are worth the millions.
Flying at more than 700 miles per hour, being so close together and not touching, the Blue Angels fly over more than 11 million fans each year.
Everybody wants to be like the Blue Angels, so it's like the best of the best.
Jim Krenn brought his family from Arkansas to see the Blues for the first time. He says the Blue Angels are worth the money.
Because we're going to watch them fly. Everybody wants to be a Navy pilot because of the Blue Angels.
Savannah Aids of Pensacola says the Blues are heroes, not just at home.
Not even just people in Pensacola, because people around the United States know who the Blue Angels are. And it definitely attracts a lot of people to come down here and be a Blue Angel and fly a Blue Angel.
In the article, military officials defend the teams as time-honored institutions that woo youngsters into uniforms. But some experts say there's no way to track whether air shows lead to enlistment. While those who look up to the Blues, no matter the cost, are inspired.
It would be a good way to represent our country and give back to what everyone's given us, I guess.
But after seeing the Blues fly, would he want to join the Navy?
I mean, if I think it's like really cool, it could interest me. Go to a military school maybe.
So what do you think? Are you inspired by military teams to want to join the military? Let us know what you think on our Facebook page. Just post your comments under the story. Reporting in the studio, Ricky Van, Channel 3 News.
Yes, we did coordinate, as we do every morning. What are you wearing today? We match. And you know what matches our spunky mood is the weather. Thank goodness the rain kind of cleared out and now it's calming down.
Yeah, we had the rain today. Of course, a lot of that was during the overnight and morning hours, quite a bit of it, but now it is calming down and we're not seeing much. Now, it's pretty cloudy out there. It is pretty humid. This is a WeatherNet cam. That is from the Dockside Cafe out of Niceville in Okaloosa County. And you just see the cloud cover out there. First Warning 3D Doppler does show that it is dry across the local area. And there's our satellite and radar imagery showing, it's dry locally. There's some scattered rain, though, across parts of the southeast. Some areas getting some of that wet weather, but around here, just not the case. So here we go through the overnight hours. Low 70s out there, partly cloudy skies. Maybe a shower will pop up, just a slight chance for that. And then tomorrow, we'll have mostly sunny skies with a small chance for rain and hot highs in the upper 80s.
Thank you, Alan. Still to come for you on First at 4, a school bus driver arrested for slapping a special needs student. See that surveillance video and find out what the school is doing about it. And can surgery stop diabetes? The results of a study from the American Medical Association. Plus, choose your news, medicine foods, Ticketmaster refunds, or pet poison dangers. Find out which story you chose on our Facebook page when we come back. Want to remind you, during the break, check out WEARTV.com. You'll find the latest headlines, the latest in weather, and you can download it all to your phone.
First, live, local. You're watching Channel 3 News First at 4 in high definition with anchors Lena DeFlores and Chief Meteorologist Alan Strum. Channel 3 News First Warning WeatherNet is brought to you by Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram and Ailstock Whitcomb Crease and Overholtz. Here is Chief Meteorologist Alan Strum.
So we've been watching a slow-moving cold front, and now it's basically just washing out. That's going to be the best thing to do. So, with those rip currents, you can get taken out pretty quickly and end up in a bind there. Lifeguards can help you out of that. So rain chance tomorrow, low 20%, upper 80s here throughout most of the rest of the week. Rain chance, though, Friday and Saturday is going to be up around 40%. Into Sunday, 30%. So every day we've got a chance for a shower to pop up. You know the deal. It could happen out there. Chance for wet weather. Weekend's always in view on our 7-day outlook, and it's also always in view at WEARTV.com/weather.
Traffic Watch, brought to you by Pensacola Honda.
Let's take you outside again, this time to check on the afternoon commute. I-10 and I-110 at the stack here, things are looking good at the transition, also up and down the interstates, also your surface streets and your bridges look good as well. Checking with your health news, the CDC says more than 29 million Americans have diabetes and 25% of them don't know it. A study published in the Journal of American Medical Association suggests obesity surgery may give people a cure for diabetes for 15 years. According to the study's findings, obesity surgery may keep diabetes in remission for some patients. 35 out of 115 patients remained diabetes-free 15 years after they had the surgery. 20 years after the surgery, about 25 patients remained free of diabetes complications like eye and kidney problems. The American Medical Association wants stricter regulation on e-cigarettes or electronic cigarettes. The nation's largest doctors group agreed to support the Food and Drug Administration's proposed restrictions on buying, packaging, and advertising e-cigarettes that includes warning labels and a ban to selling to minors. But the AMA also is asking for child-proof packaging and restrictions on e-cigarette flavors like bubblegum and cotton candy that could appeal to kids. Eating well and exercise may not be the only things that keep you healthy. Apparently, doing something good for others is also good for you. This is from the United Health Group and the Optum Institute. Found 76% of volunteers say volunteering has made them feel healthier, and 94% say it's improved their mood as well. And for more health-related topics, go to our website, weartv.com. Click on the Health tab. Time now where you lead the way for Choose Your News. And today on our Facebook page, you pick Ticketmaster Refund. If you bought tickets of any kind on Ticketmaster since 1999, you may have some money coming your way. Kathleen Carnes explains it's the result of a lawsuit over misleading fees.
Along the sidewalk in Towson, ask anyone about their favorite concert.
I've seen Jason Aldean, Taylor Swift, and Rascal Flatts.
And people want to talk.
Okay, I went to a J. Cole concert that was $32.50. A little overpriced it seemed because we were up in the balcony, but I didn't really have an issue. He's my favorite artist.
Miles Norris says when he purchased the ticket on Ticketmaster, he didn't examine the additional fees.
No, I was excited to see that he was so close to where I was, so I just, clicked OK on everything.
But now Ticketmaster has agreed to pay a $400 million settlement in a consumer class action suit, which primarily centers on an order processing fee. The lawsuit alleges the additional fee was not for processing, but for profit.
Next time I'm going to read through the terms and conditions, and I don't want to get gypped.
Give me my money back.
If the Ticketmaster settlement is approved, then customers who purchased tickets dating back to 1999 may be eligible for discounts or even credit. A message from these consumers to Ticketmaster.
Come on, man. Everybody's just trying to have a good time.
But you shouldn't expect your refund in the mail anytime soon. A judge in Los Angeles looking over the settlement agreement and will decide if it's approved in January of 2015. So tomorrow, let's do this all again. You lead the way by checking out our Facebook page, also tuning in for Dayside for your next chance to choose your news. We still have so much more for you here on First at 4. A shakeup in United's Air Miles program, changes that could frustrate frequent flyers. And a new luxury car dealer could be coming to Valparaiso. What the city is doing to make way for Lexus. Also, join us on your second screen for your 3 cents. This is also the topic of one of our top stories here on First at 4. Should the U.S. negotiate with terrorists for the release of American soldiers? Log on to our website, weartv.com. Right now, let us know what you think. You may see your comment here on First at 4. A fire damaged an Escambia County duplex this morning. That tops our look at news county by county. Fire investigators are trying to figure out what started this fire. It broke out about 7 o'clock this morning on Capitol Boulevard in Inslee. 2 people who live in the duplex were able to get out safely, thank goodness. And Pensacola International Airport Executive Director Greg Donovan has been offered a position in Melbourne, Florida. Tamara Fountain with the City of Pensacola tells Channel 3 News Donovan has been offered the Executive Director position at the Melbourne International Airport. No official word on whether or not Donovan has accepted that job. He's been with the Pensacola Airport since March of last year. In Santa Rosa County, the Small Business Administration Center in Milton is closing this week. The Loan Outreach Center was set up after the flooding in April, but has seen less traffic in recent weeks. It will close on 6 p.m. on Friday. If you want to go before then, the center is at the gym at Pensacola State College's Milton campus. There will still be a resource center in Gulf Breeze available. And in Okaloosa County, Valparaiso making room for a new luxury car dealer. Land is being cleared for what is expected to be a new Lexus dealership at the intersection of State Road 85 and Valparaiso Parkway. Right now, the closest Lexus dealership is in Mobile. It's not a done deal yet, though. The city says they want to be ready for the new development. Trees were being cleared out today. When developers do decide to move in, they will either have to pay the city for the trees or plant new ones as part of the city's tree preservation law.
First warning weather, powered by Pensacola State College.
Raindrops are falling on. Actually, I know I should not sing because it's a horror. But
Go for it.
No, it's awful. But what leads me to that is this beautiful video, Raindrops on Flowers.
Yeah, we had the rain falling earlier this morning. I mean, wet weather overnight, and there's a nice scene, so we're getting some flowers in the area. Everything's very green, isn't it?
Yes, and a lot of people's allergies are kicking up right about now.
Oh, yeah, that is for sure. Well, take a look at this. A possible tornado tearing through Scottsboro, Alabama last night. No one hurt, that's good, but several mobile homes knocked off their foundations, and there's the aftermath from that.
Wow, okay. So luckily, we're not expecting anything like that coming our way.
No, we're looking pretty good around here, actually. We had some thunderstorm activity across the southeast, and we had some watches and some warnings, but for our area, for Northwest Florida, just rainy weather. I mean, just kind of poured all night. And you can see that we're looking at pretty calm conditions around the northern Gulf Coast. A little bit of scattered rain there for parts of the southeast as we look across the nation now. And then right on up through the Ohio River Valley into the Midwest and Northeast. We've got a little bit of rain there. Temperatures in some cases cooled a little bit by the rain, but we've got warm, humid weather here from Texas through the deep south here, right on up parts of the eastern seaboard there into the Carolinas. And you can see our temperatures right now. That's how things are shaping up and looking across the nation. Let's check out tomorrow's forecast. So as we look across the U.S. and the lower 48, we've got a chance for rain from Chicago on up to New York. Around Atlanta, looks dry, and Atlanta will see highs in the 80s around here. Upper 80s from the Panhandle over toward Louisiana, New Orleans. Down in Orlando, they could see some low 90s, and of course, a pop-up shower is possible down there in central Florida. Texas could see some wet weather as well, and the northeast, or rather northwest, both actually looking potentially wet.
Alan, thank you. And Alan, I'll update you online at our Facebook page and also on Twitter because we get interactive with you here on First at 4. And we do like to start a conversation with you on one of the hot topics of the day. And your opinion is called Your 3 Cents. Today, Bob, this one's going to get a lot of strong opinions. A lot of people have expressed strong opinions since it first came to light.
Yeah, it's a touchy debate on this one, but Gallup has asked the question to America and finds that Americans are pretty evenly divided on whether the U.S. should negotiate with terrorist groups to secure the release of American prisoners. A Gallup poll out today, in fact, finds that 43% of Americans say it is important for the U.S. to secure the safe release of prisoners, even if it means compromising with terrorist demands. 44% say it's more important to discourage future prisoner taking by refusing to negotiate with terrorist groups, even if that means risking the lives of U.S. prisoners. Well, as you reported a couple of minutes ago, Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel defending the deal that led to the release of Army Sergeant Bo Bergdahl. During a congressional hearing this morning, Hagel told the House Armed Services Committee the administration made the right decision in releasing 5 Taliban detainees in exchange for Bergdahl. Hagel says the deal was struck to bring home a service member who had been held captive by the Taliban in Afghanistan for 5 years. Of course, critics of that exchange say the administration put more American lives at risk by releasing the detainees to Qatar, where the government has promised to keep watch over them for at least a year. Hagel also testified that no American combat deaths, none, were linked to the previous searches or the rescue of Sergeant Bergdahl. Well, give us your 3 cents on this one, and do you believe, should the U.S. negotiate with terrorists for the release of American prisoners? Just head to our website and share your thoughts, or leave a comment on our Facebook page, and we'll have some of the responses for you tomorrow. Lena?
Bob, thank you. Speaking of our Facebook page, let's say congratulations to Diane Thompson, our fan of the day. She wins 4 tickets to the IMAX Theater at the National Naval Aviation Museum. And for your chance to be our fan of the day, get a little shout out here on First at 4, click the Connect 3 button on our Facebook page. You'll find us at facebook.com/WEAR-TV. Coming up for you in our second half hour, a mother says her child who has special needs was slapped by the school bus driver.
And he tapped her on the lip like that, and she went and strike them.
We have the surveillance video and more on the investigation into the bus driver. Also, a shakeup in Republican leadership. Huge. Why House Majority Leader Eric Cantor may soon step down. You're watching First at 4, Northwest Florida's first choice for News at 4.
First, live, local, now on Channel 3 News.
Surveillance video of a child slapped by a bus driver.
I saw her strike my son. and I'm not happy about it at all.
The child's mother talks to Channel 3 News about what happened and new details about the student who opened fire on an Oregon high school campus, the weapons he was carrying and where he got them, plus bonuses for Nuclear Missile Corps airmen, the incentives aimed at cleaning up the program.
Good afternoon. Welcome back or welcome on in. We're happy to have you here on First at 4. I want you to come take a look at this video here. A Pensacola mother says a school bus driver slapped her 9-year-old son who has special needs. The driver, Pamela Hardy, was arrested and has made bail after she was charged with cruelty towards a child. Channel 3 News obtained the surveillance video here showing the incident. 9-year-old Marquise appears to hit Hardy. Hardy hits the child back. Marquise's mother, Tamisha Cotton, says Hardy was in her son's personal space, and as an adult, Hardy should not hit the child. Channel 3's Callie Desimone has more on how Escambia County school bus drivers are trained in conflict resolution and trained to be sensitive to students with special needs.
It was on a bus like this one. A 9-year-old boy with special needs was wrestling with his brother. The school bus driver asked them to stop. They didn't. What happened next has the boy's mother very angry.
I saw her strike my son, and I'm not happy about it at all.
In the bus camera video seen here, it looks like 9-year-old Marquise hit the bus driver first, but his mother says something else happened.
And he tapped her on the lip like that, and she went and struck him.
Tamisha Cotton says her son is developmentally delayed, suffers from hearing loss, and has been diagnosed with ADHD.
Different ways to sort of redirect the students' energy or their activity.
Rob Doss is the Director of Transportation for the Escambia County School District. He can't comment on the specifics of this incident since it is still under investigation, but says each bus driver that transports a special needs student is personally introduced to the child and is made aware of that child's challenges. Still, Marquise Cotton's mother says training must not have been enough for her son's bus driver, so she wants action taken.
I don't even want her working with children, period.
Superintendent Malcolm Thomas says the bus driver has been put on paid leave and will not have any contact with students until the investigation is complete. Reporting in Escambia County, Callie Desimone, Channel 3 News.
And the Director of Transportation for the Escambia County School District says he's implementing a new quarterly training program for the upcoming school year. He says the program will focus on de-escalation strategies and appropriate disciplinary actions to take against students with special needs. 2 people were arrested after Santa Rosa County deputies busted a meth lab yesterday afternoon. Deputies found all the supplies needed to make meth, as well as signs of an active lab on a house on Highway 182 in Jay. Gina Bundy lives in that home and told deputies that this was the first time she had ever made meth and was going to do it to get money to pay her power bill. She now faces several drug charges. Deputies also arrested a man who was in the home, Charles Peters III, charged with larceny there.
First warning weather, powered by Pensacola State College.
Everybody's looking towards the weekend, and we've got a chance.
Oh yeah, chance for rain. We'll have a chance for sunshine. May see a little bit of both out there, of course. And as we take a look at things out there now, it looks a little cloudy with a little sun kind of poking through. You're looking at the Maritime Park there from City Hall, downtown Pensacola. That view showing you the stadium. Wahoo's looks like it's a little bit rough in the bay too. Wahoo's not back till a week from tomorrow, so they've been out of town for quite some time. And across the region here, we're seeing a little cloud cover. Not any rain for us, but the southeast seeing a bit of wet weather as we take it into our first warning 3D Doppler. You can see we're all dry out there for now. So heading through tonight, it will be a little breezy at times. Do look out for that. A little breezy at times out of the southwest. Overnight lows will be in the low 70s. And then tomorrow, we'll end up with mostly sunny skies. Rain chance tomorrow, it's there, but it's pretty low, only at around 20%. And that's exactly what our 7-day outlook is showing. But by Friday, we have a 50% chance for rain. And there's your weekend. It's always in view on our 7-day. Saturday, 40%, Sunday, 30%.
The gunman who opened fire at an Oregon high school was a student there. Police say freshman Jared Paget took one life, a 14-year-old fellow student, before taking his own. He came to school armed with a duffel bag full of weapons, and ABC's Marcy Gonzalez has more on where he got those guns.
Another deadly school shooting.
Got a report of shots fired in the locker room.
Police say freshman Jared Paget walked into Reynolds High School outside of Portland, Oregon, carrying a duffel bag with a knife, a semi-automatic handgun, a rifle, and hundreds of rounds of ammo from his family's home, shooting a 14-year-old in the locker room.
He murdered a fellow student. We have not established any link between the shooter and the victim.
A phys ed teacher also reportedly targeted in yesterday morning's rampage.
He was carrying a gun running after one of our teachers, our PE teacher, Mr. Rispler.
Coach Todd Rispler shot, but able to initiate a school lockdown that officials say likely saved countless lives.
Over the intercom, they said this is a real lockdown. Turn the lights off. Stay quiet.
Worried parents later tearfully reunited with their children, learning the gunman was found dead in a bathroom stall after police say he apparently turned the gun on himself. This is the 74th school shooting in the U.S. since Sandy Hook. And his friends and family held a vigil for the victim, freshman Emilio Hoffman. President Obama echoed their heartbreak and anger, calling for national soul-searching about gun violence.
We're the only developed country on earth where this happens. And it happens now once a week.
Police are still investigating and haven't said anything yet about a possible motive. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, New York.
A competency hearing will be held for one of the two 12-year-old Wisconsin girls accused of nearly stabbing a classmate to death. The attorney for Morgan Geyser made the request in court today. Investigators say Geyser and Anissa Weir stabbed their 12-year-old friend 19 times after luring her into the woods. The girls told authorities they were trying to impress a fictional character, an internet meme called the Slender Man. They read about the character on a horror website. Weir's attorney is not asking for a competency hearing, but could in the future. The victim's family says she's recovering faster than expected and was recently released from the hospital. The suspects charged as adults with attempted first-degree intentional homicide. They're due back in court on July the 2nd. Virginia Congressman Eric Cantor expected to announce he will step down as House Majority Leader after a stunning loss in last night's GOP primary race in Virginia. He lost to political newcomer and college professor Dave Bratt, who is backed by the Tea Party. Cantor ran $5 million worth of campaign ads. That is more than 50 times what Bratt spent.
I know there's a lot of long faces here tonight, and it's disappointing, sure.
The reason we won this campaign, there's just one reason, and that's because dollars do not vote, you do.
Two sources tell ABC News Cantor will not mount a write-in campaign to keep his congressional seat. The Air Force says it will offer bonus money and other incentives to members of its nuclear missile corps as part of a plan to fix the force. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel says a string of recent training failures, security missteps, and breakdowns in discipline prompted him to demand action to restore public confidence in the nation's nuclear force. Air Force leaders say they're planning to offer bonus pay and put more money into modernizing the Minuteman III missile force, a force that new airmen want to join because of the demands of the job. Islamist insurgents in Iraq have seized Saddam Hussein's hometown of Tikrit. This is after insurgents took over the city of Mosul yesterday. The United Nations says 500,000 people have fled from Iraq's second largest city as al-Qaeda offshoot. Their offshoot took control. The acronym stands for Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. These pictures show refugees crossing the Tigris River as fighting continues on the other side. ISIS has reportedly also taken the city of Bahai, home to Iraq's largest oil refinery that supplies Baghdad. In January, the city fell to the same group.
This group of people now, there's tens of thousands of these guys, and they now have a territory. They control territory, they control border crossing points, they control oil resources, mineral resources, trade, income. They have a base in the middle of the Middle East.
Iraq's prime minister has vowed to fight back the jihadists and punish those in the security forces who have deserted. He's also declared a state of emergency and asked for international support. A cannabis co-op is in big trouble with a candy corporation. The lawsuit over Reefer's peanut butter cups. And as we go to break, a live look for you from Pensacola City Hall.
Traffic Watch, brought to you by Pensacola Honda.
We're taking a live look at 3 Mile Bridge, and things are, I guess they're getting a little busy for the afternoon commute, but no slowdowns other than that on either side. Toyota expanding a recall over faulty airbags. The company now recalling 650,000 more cars in Japan because passenger airbag inflators were made using faulty parts. Now, the initial recall last spring included nearly 2 million Toyota cars. The airbags were manufactured by a Japanese-based supplier, and Toyota said the recall was expanded because the supplier hadn't provided a complete list of affected serial numbers. Is this a popular candy or is it pot? Kind of a play on words here, and Labels has a national candy company suing a Seattle medical marijuana co-op. Kristen Drew has a story.
Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are one of the most famous candy brands. So popular, the manufacturer is suing a Seattle marijuana co-op for trying to imitate the candy with cannabis. According to the federal lawsuit, Conscious Care Cooperative sells Reefer's Peanut Butter Cups and Kush Peanut Butter Cups. You can see both products have similar designs compared to the Reese's trademark. Hershey says the cannabis shop also sells a product called Mr. Dank Bar, with packaging that closely resembles Hershey's Mr. Good Bar.
Well, I think it's just a simple market strategy. Mimicking brands that are pre-existing.
Vivian McPeak, executive director of Seattle HempFest, says there's controversy within the cannabis movement right now regarding candy as a form of medicine.
Some people in the cannabis movement have some concerns whether candy is the appropriate way to deliver medical marijuana because of the propensity for children to get a hold of it.
That's also among the concerns of Hershey's. A statement from a company spokesman reads in part, "Consumers depend on our brand names to represent a level of quality and dependability. These entities have used Hershey's trademarks without authorization to trade on Hershey's goodwill and reputation."
This is a time, a new frontier, a lot of changing policies within our country right now. And I think these are issues that we're going to be grappling with as the cannabis industry kind of grows up and moves to the next level and becomes a more mainstream commodity.
Now, employees at Conscious Care Cooperative didn't make a comment in the story, but the Hershey Company filed a similar lawsuit last week in Colorado against a company manufacturing and selling marijuana products using Hershey's trademark. Hey, if you fly United, the airline is making a big change to its frequent flyer program. Right now, awards are based on the number of miles you travel, but soon they're going to be based on how much you paid for your ticket. This move, of course, really benefits the big spenders.
They're no longer frequent flyer programs or frequent spender.
Other carriers like JetBlue and Southwest have already made the switch to rewards based on how much you paid. Coming up next, a bear sighting.
Why the bear? You up in that tree.
Oh gosh, the young bear that caused lots of chaos in downtown Fort Walton Beach yesterday.
First, live, local. You're watching Channel 3 News first at 4 in high definition. Channel 3 News First Warning WeatherNet is brought to you by Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram and Ailstock Whitcomb Crease and Overholtz. Here is Chief Meteorologist Alan Strum.
That is a live view right now from the Hardee's Beach Cam. It's on top of South Harbor Condos. Looks like we've got a decent crowd there for midweek out at Pensacola Beach. So tomorrow, rain chance pretty low at around 20%, upper 80s next few days. You can see Friday, though, that rain chance is a little higher. You saw the futurecast with a lot of color. So 50% on rain for Friday, and then heading into this weekend, which is always in view on the 7-day outlook. Saturday, we've got a 40% chance for rain. Sunday, our rain chance is going to be around 30%. And there's a look ahead to next week where, of course, we've got a chance for a pop-up shower.
Do you think if we give you more time, you can work on the numbers, get the percentages down for us?
I can try. That 50% on Friday, I think that's our most likely day for rain, though. So,
all right, we'll get out of the way for the weekend then.
That's true. Good point.
Thank you. Hey, did you hear about this yesterday? A young black bear had Fort Walton Beach on alert last night. It's being moved to the Eglin Reservation now. Channel 3's Rob Brown has more on what it took to catch the bear.
On Tuesday afternoon here on Carson Drive, Fort Walton Beach police tracked and had a standoff with a not-so-usual suspect.
Why the bear? You up in that tree. He's in that other tree.
Around 5:45 a.m., police began receiving calls about an unusual character wandering near Eglin and Hollywood. They described the suspect as around 100 pounds and furry.
very, very strange and very rare. I've been in Fort Walton for 33 years, and I think this is about my second time seeing one.
The FWBPD and the Fish and Wildlife Commission tracked the bear north on Eglin Parkway until it climbed on top of a business and then into a tree behind homes.
A police, he called me and he tell me go for inside for the house, and I tell him why, I don't know. And I go for inside the house, I waited, and I see you later, the bear in the backyard.
FWC says the young bear was simply trying to find new territory and just got lost.
This time of year, mamas are kicking the cubs out, and that's what this is. This is a young dispersing male is what we call it. And he's just been kicked out by mama, so he's trying to find his own territory.
The bear was too high in the tree to safely tranquilize, so FWC threw golf balls and made noise to try and get him down. Finally, around 9 p.m., the bear was safely tranquilized and prepared to be released back into the wild. FWC technician Kevin McDonald says there's no reason for those in Fort Walton Beach to panic, except in rare cases, he said, the bears are harmless, and this one in downtown Fort Walton Beach is the exception, not the rule.
Oh no, not at all, not at all. We have bears come through here all the time. They usually don't get this far north. He just daylight caught him this morning in the wrong place is what happened.
Fish and Wildlife say that any bears that have to be trapped in Fort Walton Beach are traditionally let loose on the Eglin Reservation. In Fort Walton Beach, Rob Brown, Channel 3 News.
Up next for you, one pricey piece of fruit. Rare watermelon sells for hundreds of dollars. How much would you pay for a good watermelon?
Not as much as you're going to tell us about.
$3,500. That was the going price for a Jinsuke watermelon that sold in Japan yesterday. One of dozens that were being sold at the auction. Watermelon's famous for their black skin, sweet fruit. Typically get a lot of money, but not that much. They're grown on an island in northern Japan. I imagine the weather would have to be good for them to grow.
Pretty obscene, yeah.
This is interesting. Subway and Keurig getting together to give you coffee with your sandwich. The two companies are striking a deal that will put Keurig single brew machines in each of the nearly 30,000 Subway restaurants in the U.S. and in Canada. The companies say the one cup at a time brew process Keurig offers makes it easier for sub shops to serve coffee any time of the day. Meet you there for lunch.
Good coffee. Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, we'll take a look at this. Friday, higher rain chance. There's our futurecast showing a lot of green color on the map for Friday. So that's when we've got, well, a 50% chance for rain. So that's our next best chance for wet weather. And ahead to the weekend, you can see that we've got a chance for rain here both on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday at 40%, Sunday at 30%. We'll get a mix of sun and clouds out there as well. And as you look ahead to next week, you can see that we've got just a slight chance for a pop-up shower. You know, it's going to be hot out there with those high temps between 85 and 90 degrees, so some pretty warm weather, and overnight lows will be in the mid to low 70s.
Thank you so much. And Bob Solarski now has a preview of what's coming up for you on Channel 3 News at 5.
Well, a little girl diagnosed with a life-threatening illness, but it's a local doctor's mission to help people just like her who are living with cystic fibrosis. And two new businesses moving into downtown Pensacola, what they plan to offer and when they expect to open up. Channel 3 News at 5 starts in 2 minutes. Join us.